Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today I wanted to give you guys an update on the Falcon. I know we still have to install a wiring harness. We have to complete the fuel system, which the fuel system is just about complete. Shake out all the bugs of any car when it's fresh, on a fresh build. So the car is a complete revision from the front subframe to the powertrain. The only thing we kept in the car that's the same is the rear end. It's still a Curry 9-inch with the internals in the pumpkin. Everything else is pretty much just been gone through. The axles were shortened. The diff did come apart in order to shorten the axle tube. So that axle tube to axle tube, 1.5 inches was removed. And the reason for that was to allow the 335s to fit the car in the rear. As you guys know before, I had a slight rub with that setup on there. It's an 850 serted cage now, and I believe it's an 8-point. So we had to do some repair and some strengthening of the rear subframe as well. So the cage actually ties into a subframe connector that is integral, the Chris Austin G-Link system in the rear. The front is a complete Detroit Speed Engineering cradle for a 64 to 70 Mustang. We installed a big brake Willwood Superlight 6-piston caliper, 14-inch rotors up front. And the transmission, we went from a TKO 600 to a T56 Magnum. We're still using the McLeod RXT twin disc clutch. And then also, I also got a set of spare tires, Cross. Shout out to Kyle. Kyle has a Mustang with an LS2 based stroker in there. And these are 335 3018s. These are Nittos. The car currently has 335 3018s Toyo R888Rs. And if once we get that thing fired up and we start shaking it down and kind of just breaking it in, I don't anticipate those R888Rs to last long. So I got these at a pretty good deal. So shout out to Kyle. And I think that's it. So in this video, today I stopped by Ruben's Precision. And in this video, you guys will see kind of what we're doing. We also updated the gauge cluster. We had to add in a fuel pressure gauge, a nitrous pressure gauge, a oil temperature gauge, and a flex fuel sensor gauge. This motor is a 13-to-1, 700 horse, 430-inch Windsor, and it'll run off pump E85. So you'll see all that in the video as far as where we are with the fuel system and all that stuff. So anyways, I just wanted to give you guys an update. Thanks for, all right, so let's get right into the video. Forward, here's some of what we got going on. So you can see we have the fuel system is pretty much done. And that goes, we have from the carburetor, 2 -6s from the regulator. And then going back, there's a -8 all the way to the fuel pump, and then it's a deadhead return style. It's a I'm drawing blanks. So here's the back side. It is a Weldon 250 pump. This thing will run off diesel, E85, methanol, race gas, you name it. So here's a RCI 20-gallon fuel cell. We have a -10 from the tank, and then an inline filter, Weldon inline filter, and then the pump. And then also we have a Innovate Motorsports flex fuel sensor, which is basically a GM Continental sensor. And then here'll be a return that'll be a -8, and then -8 supply going all the way up to the regulator I just showed you guys. And then just coming up, moving forward, all the plumbing for the oil circuit is done. You can see, I want to say these are 12s or 14s or 16s. There's a dry sump tank, and so the circuit started from we tapped the circuit from the oil filter boss. This is a 3-stage dry sump circuit. It's an Aviade. Those of you guys have been following. And then we also fitted the HVH super sucker on top of the wet plate kit. Shout out to Induction Solutions. And Then we have a Holley XP 950 E85, all done up by Kevin at CSU. Shout out to CSU. CSM Motor, California Street Machines, all done by Rubens Precision. So we also have the brake master cylinder installed, just kind of temp installed. I'll order up a new one, replace that one. It leaks internally. Here's what we got with the gauges. So starting from left to right, we have fuel level, water temp, fuel pressure and nitrous pressure, speedo, tach, oil pressure, battery voltage, oil temp, and then finished off by a flex fuel sensor. So this car is a 13-to-1 unit. It's going to run E85, and then we're putting a painless universal harness in it, so this car will be completely rewired. I don't know if I showed you guys some of the cage work or the additional cage work that was done. I might have done that in the previous video, Detroit speed install, but there it is there. You can see now it's an 850. It's an 850 cage, so now we got the A-pillar bar and the top bar, just in case we get into any, and then it's also been braced. It's been X-braced in the back, and that ties into the chassis. Kind of dark in here, but I just wanted to give you guys a quick update on what we got. Got some notes of some more things that we're going to get done. So anyways, I just wanted to give you guys a quick update. I know it's been a while. And that's all she wrote. So again, guys, here over the next week or so, we're going to get after it hard. We still have to figure out the clutch setup. We were going to run a Willwood integral reservoir slave cylinder setup, but we decided that for the sake of time, we're probably going to run the same style slave cylinder with a remote reservoir for the clutch. And then, so that's pretty much it. So we'll have the same exact clutch assembly from the clutch itself to the hydraulics and the linkage of the clutch. So none of that will change. I just got to hunt down some parts. I'm also going to update the Willwood brake cylinder, or Willwood master cylinder for the brakes. It's a manual brake setup. So the one on there now is leaking. And then I also have to find a wiring diagram for the MSD Digital 7 Plus, so we can just make sure we're understanding what each functions of each circuit of the Digital 7 Plus ignition is for. This particular unit I bought back in like the early 2000s. So if you look at the MSD Digital 7 Plus or programmable, you'll still see it on the website, so it's still available. But it's been so long since I purchased it, and the functions that it performed on the old 408 was more or less just ignition in the distributor. It didn't really have any other functions. But now with the nitrous, it also has a two-step rev limiter and retard for nitrous and stuff like that. So we got to make sure that it's functional and everything. All the circuits and all the inputs are properly functioning. So anyways, that's it with that. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys soon.